What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Not a Sheep podcast. My name's Matt. I'm here with my buddy, John or Narwhal.
What's up, guys?
And today we are joined by the one and only Elijah Kyle.
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me on, man.
Of course, bro.
Man. We've been excited because Matt told me about your music probably like a year ago now.
Oh, snap. Let's go.
Yeah, we've been keeping up to date. And you in particular had a really big year last year, right? I saw you post about your Wrapped from a couple years ago versus last year, and you've had some substantial growth recently.
Yeah, man. It went from I think it was 100K to 1.1 million last year.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. We're about to triple that this year.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
sir.
What's the journey been like for you? Like, how did you get into all this? And
Music's been a big part of my life forever. I feel like my mom was in a band. She was a lead singer in a band when I was growing up. And once I got, I think around 7, she stopped touring because she wanted to just focus on being a mom and working full time and all that. So my whole family is very involved in the community in terms of music and all that. And I fell in love with hip hop super early. My aunt put me on it literally 5 years old. And I always wrote throughout my whole entire life. And then I finally just started to take it serious and it just grew.
Yeah. Who were some of your early influences?
Honestly, not to be that dude, but obviously Eminem.
Yup.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I remember vividly Mockingbird was the first song I ever really knew all the words to.
Dude, that's the first song I ever memorized.
Man, I swear to God, I used to run around the house in the Eminem show. Lord knows the stuff I was saying back then, didn't realize, but yeah, man, I don't know. I love all kinds of different types of music. I grew up in Rush and rock bands. My dad loved rock, my mom loved everything. You know what I mean?
Around what age was it when you started recording? Because you said you were writing, right?
Yeah, I always used to write, but the first time I recorded a song was in my sophomore year of high school. Me and my buddy had a $10 microphone and we were in his closet. Literally, it was crazy, but yeah. I was 16
Yeah.
at the time.
When you look back on that music, do you ever see any obviously I feel like most people hate their old stuff, especially from when they first started. But
Man.
on your older music, I guess not that old, but from a couple years ago, when you look back on your older stuff, is there times when you actually see little nuggets of wow, although that song kind of sucked, I saw what I was trying to do there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's hard for me to listen to anything that I even put out last year because I sound like a completely different artist this year, and the stuff that I have coming out, my next albums and stuff, it's hard for me to go back. But there's a few songs from 2018 that I was man, if this had good mixing, or if I was more comfortable with my voice, this would have been a great song because the melody was fire. I just sucked.
What do you feel what has changed? How do you feel your music is so different this upcoming year than it has been in the past?
I feel as you write and you continue to progress, you find your voice and what your range is and what you're comfortable with and what you excel at, and you just keep growing and getting better and learning new things. And I know what I have to do. I finally song structure wise and what beats type of arrangements that I like. And yeah, I just try to keep getting better all the time, man.
That's dope. And you just dropped Another Mistake, right?
Yeah, literally last night. I mean, today, Friday.
That's dope.
Oh yeah.
And I like that one because I don't know if it's kind of different from your other stuff. It's more singing, and I think that's cool.
Yeah.
You can kind of switch it up like that.
Thanks, man. It was supposed to be just an interlude, and I kind of just left it how it was. I recorded that at Adrian's house, and I freestyled that whole thing. We made it super fast, and I was man, this could be longer, but it's one of those songs that it has its purpose and it just hits the way it is. And I think it sometimes less is more.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And that song, that's a single off of your upcoming album, right? When does your album come out?
So I'm doing a before the album project that drops in 2 weeks. So basically I had so many songs and not everything could have made the album. So some of the songs that are on before the album will eventually make the upcoming album, but a few of them won't. So it's kind of it's just a little piece of what's to come to give people kind of a taste of, what's in the future, because I was man, this is still better than anything I had out. So I want to give people something they can see in my project section on Spotify and stuff like that. But my next album's coming out in May.
Okay.
My next this to me feels like my real debut album. Before the rest kind of feel like little mixtapes. It's this is a whole project that I spent 2 years making, and it's 23 songs.
Wow.
Dang, that's sick.
What do you feel for you? What is kind of the differentiation between this upcoming project that you really feel is your first debut album versus the other stuff you've put out? Like, how do you know, just like as an artist, like this is like something different, this is something bigger?
I just have like a crazy feeling about this one. I really found my sound, and I don't think there's not like, obviously we always have comparisons. You could say like my old stuff, I sounded like this person or that. Like this is the first time I'm like, I haven't heard an album that sounded like this. It's like, I finally found what I'm good at. And I've realized that I love doing everything. So this album literally, like the first song has like 3 beat switches. Then I go into a punk rock, like MGK song. Then it goes into an EDM, like it's everything. This album has literally every type of music possible. And I just realized I love to do it all. And just, that's me. Like, I'm just me. This album is my whole entire life, like my story. I'm always open in my music, but I've never been like this open before.
Yeah.
That's
That's
sick.
awesome.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people, you build a fan base of a certain type of music, and obviously most of your fans are hip hop fans, I would assume. And like, do you ever worry like, I mean, I don't know, I think it's cool that it's so different, but is a part of you like, oh, this is going to be so different for a lot of people?
Nah, man, because like I've been doing that since the beginning, and I'm lucky that even though I'm not the biggest artist out right now, one thing that I really excel at is I have a very, very loyal fan base. Like I get more interactions on Twitter than people with like 50,000 followers. And they've always, from the beginning, I've literally said since 2017, I'm like, I love to do all types of different music. And it might have not been good back then, but there's so many people that have stuck with me. And I think part of it is because they've saw like the journey. It's been like every year it's been progressively building, and they like that I'm very open, and I love to talk to all of my fans and anyone that supports. And it's always more than music for me, like in terms of if they have other hobbies like basketball and stuff like that. So it's made them kind of, whatever I do, they kind of love.
Oh yeah.
And I don't want to be like one of those like yes men people. Like if it's trash, like totally tell me it's trash. But like lately it's only been getting better. So hopefully it stays like that.
Hell
That's
yeah,
so
man.
dope. Yeah. Also, I wanted to ask, because you've been working with Adrian recently, but you've been working with him for a while, right?
He started mixing my songs, I think. Man, we were talking about it the other day because it seems like it's been so long, because I've sent him over 75 songs in the past, and we started working in end of August.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Last year. So that's not that long. I don't even.
You sent him 75 songs since August?
Yeah.
Bro, that's
Holy
work.
shit.
Not counting the 15 songs that we made in Dallas like 3 weeks ago.
Shoot.
That's wild. The other day, what was it? Oh yeah, so like I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago now, Justin Stone on his story said like, yeah, leaving the studio, made like, I don't know what he
It
said.
was like 8 songs.
8
in a
songs
day.
in a day.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Man.
how is that humanly possible? But it seems like you have like a similar workflow if you can just crank them out and like.
Yeah, man. That's why me and him get along so good. I might be hanging out with him today. He actually literally just texted me like 5 minutes ago. But
awesome.
he works, his work ethic's crazy. And he just knows like once he goes into the studio, like it's just, he gets stuff done, dude. He's just boom, 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 on to the next thing. But he holds himself to a certain quality.
Yeah. And earlier you were saying how on your last song you kind of freestyled it. What's your like workflow like when you're just working on any song? Does it differ? Are you usually writing it down on your phone? It
differs all the time, man. Like the best songs come when I'm on the toilet, though, for sure. No, like it's it's different for me because, like I said, like for me, what I do is I'm always making different types of music, and people will more so see that in the next few weeks. Like you're starting to see it recently because the Highest Cloud that I dropped a couple weeks ago was like more so like alternative, and this was like a piano song this week. But I kind of look at it like this. I'm like, man, if I don't feel like rapping today, I'm going to make a piano song. If I don't feel like, so I know that whatever is going on, like something will click for me, and I kind of let it flow out. Like music comes natural to me. It's just, I don't know. It just comes right out. I'm able to write fast.
Yeah, that's good. And I think a lot of people, well, especially because you're someone that's been dropping weekly, a lot of people have the assumption that like, I don't know, someone that's making that much music might not have that same like inspiration.
Yeah.
But when you're able to change lanes, you can always be making new stuff.
Yeah, man. And I think what helped me the most is I learned that all of my best songs, even my most lyrical songs, are when I'm not overthinking. Like once you start overthinking art, it really starts to take away your passion and your fun from it. And I've talked to a lot of my buddies about this that would just overthink like a line for like 20 minutes. I'm like, man, just let it come to you. Like it is what it is. Like sometimes the best art is just, you just let it out. Like,
yeah, I think
whatever you're thinking.
Mike Posner had a rule. It was like, if I spend more than a minute or 2 minutes on a line, like I just move on.
Cause it will drive you insane, dude. Like it really will.
And what's crazy is it seems like, I mean, obviously I don't make music, but in terms of like podcasts and just other stuff that I do, and I'm sure I know Matt can relate, but maybe you can relate too. Like with certain songs that you make in like 2 hours that you think are like not your best, like
Do the
sometimes
best.
people love those way more and they get like way more plays than something that you spent 3 months on.
Yeah,
And
man. Like I just said to you guys, like I literally freestyled that song that came out today, and it's already past 3,000 streams. And I never
Let's
pull
go.
up. I never get 3,000 streams the first day, and it's only been like it's only 5 o'clock or whatever, not even
Yeah.
5 o'clock. So the songs that I remember NF tweeted that like sometimes your best song is not always going to be your biggest song, and sometimes like the songs you spend the least amount of time on end up being your biggest songs. Like you never know. This industry's crazy. There's no formula. Like it's
Yeah.
just. I'm just like, whatever. I'm putting songs out that I believe in, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. For you, for someone who, you know, you're kind of right at that spot, like that critical, like the turning point where things are really starting to grow.
Yeah. I'm finally, yeah.
What have been things that like, what have you realized, like what worked for you? Because obviously something has worked to transition from like, you know, a few thousand plays to like gaining some actual
Yeah.
traction. What's happened?
Man, I would say, to be honest, dropping a lot helped me. And I've always said from the beginning, like, I love dropping a lot because I write a lot, and I never want to be the person that sacrifices quality. But dropping every Friday instead of releasing projects with no singles has been like such a big difference. Like my monthly listeners have gone up like 15,000 because I was putting so much time into albums and doing a couple singles. And then when you're not big enough, they just go to waste.
Yeah.
People, especially in today's climate of the world in this industry right now, people don't want to listen to full albums unless you're a big artist, or like obviously the loyal fans will, but it's like what's next Friday? That's what they say. Like I remember I was talking even Abstract about it. It's like you put out an album, they're like, oh, when's your next single? It's
Yeah.
like, dude, I just spent 6 months putting my whole entire soul into this, and
Like,
people are like, what's
appreciate it,
next?
please.
Yeah, please appreciate it. Like this is my whole entire. It's like, so I learned that, and I learned the hard way because last year burnt me out. I released like 85 songs last year. I put so much into stuff, like dropped albums, did all this. And I was just like, how am I not getting bigger? I don't understand. How am I still in this position? And I was like, you just live and learn, dude. And sometimes it takes failing like 1,000 times just to realize like, you know what? I don't want to do this, but I have to, because at the end of the day, like this needs to be my career. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have any big, like a turning point in particular? Like, oh, this song just like randomly got in a huge playlist, or like this music video got a bunch of views, or was it just like kind of a steady growth from just
really, really a steady growth until I did the song with Justin Stone, because that's already at like 250,000 plays in like a month and a half. So I would say it was a steady growth. And then I got a couple like features and a couple big things that are starting to bring it to the next level. But like it's like every month it was like up 150 plays. And I would be like, how is this not 500? But I'm like, at least it's better than nothing. You know what I mean? And I've learned that like no matter what, growth is growth. And as an artist, if you're an upcoming artist, you really have to take every W you can, because you have to. It's the only way to stay sane. Like I was waking up every day, and I still do. And the first thing I do is check my Twitter, check my monthly listeners on Spotify. I'm like, and it was ruining my day for so long. But I'm like, man, like the time will come. If you put in the work, eventually it'll pay off.
Yeah. You'll still check your stuff every morning, or did you
Yeah,
stop?
I'm so bad, man. I'm so bad. I just don't let it get to me as much. I don't let hate get to me as much anymore, because I'm like, I'm finally comfortable with the music I'm making. I'm happy. I know the music's good. And I'm like, if you don't like it, it's not for you. If you like it, I'm so glad. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It's out of my control.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know. Like, I don't make music, but if I did, I feel like that would ruin me. Like, if I woke up one morning and I saw that my numbers were down by like 100 from last month, I'd be like, fuck, man, I gotta change
I
something.
always joke with my buddy Matt. He'll be like, hey bro, how's your day going? I was like, my monthly listeners went up. Is that your answer? like seriously, it sucks, dude. But it's a part of being an artist, and a lot of it just comes down. I really care. You know what I mean? Like you put so much work in, you want to see the results, but it just takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time.
So being an artist that drops so often, what's your kind of like weekly workflow, sort of like when being able to like have all these songs ready to go and being able to just drop every week?
So I already have all my songs uploaded until like July. So I really went like the end of last year. I said, you know what? The last 3 months of 2020, I'm going to spend working on all my best songs, and I'm going to stack up like crazy. So now I've kind of just been taking my time. Like every day I wake up, I write. Like I write a song at least every day. It used to be more than that, but now I'm just like, I wake up, I eat, and I start writing, and I head to the studio. So if I make some great songs, I keep them in the folder. I send them off to Adrian, and I'm like, all right, this is gonna be. I'm trying to figure out a plan, to be honest, because it's hard dropping every week.
Mhm.
Like you're constantly like working, you're constantly doing this stuff, and it's hard to. I don't have a plan. You know what I mean? It's just like that's what I'm trying to say. Okay,
Yeah.
I just drop a lot of fire music, and hopefully it works out.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the thing. I feel like I don't know. Recently, I've realized like no one really knows what the fuck they're doing.
No one knows what they're doing, man. Ask anyone. You can ask people that think like put out on social media that they have everything together, and it's like we have no freaking idea what we're doing.
Yeah.
For real.
We try a bunch of stuff and it works, and you keep going with it, and then the next week it doesn't work. You know what I mean? It's all like being an artist is just trial and error.
Yeah. Does it suck though? Like when you do have a really fire song and like you said, you've already have them uploaded through like July. Does it suck knowing that like you have a really awesome song, but no one gets to hear it for like 6 months?
Yes. That's why I'm so happy it's like this year started, because I've been saving I'm like, man, these songs are so much better than anything I have out. Like I'm talking about all this stuff that's not happening for 6 months and people aren't seeing it. But I'm like, you guys don't understand like what's on the way. You know what I mean? So it's super hard, dude. But I've learned to be patient, because last year I would have just dropped it already. I would have been like, all right, no release radar, boom, 5 days uploaded. And that's something I learned the hard way too. You really you have to have a plan. Like I love having music videos for every song. If you wanted to, you really got to learn marketing, and that's something I'm learning.
Yeah.
Well, that's something just the other day. Like, so I do like a lot of videos for Matt, like music videos, and like Matt texted me the other night, was like, hey, like I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna end up delaying the release of this one song.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna push everything back like another week, and that was like the second week in a row. But I'm like, I want to make sure I'm giving myself enough time, because I want to get on people's release radar. Like that's one of the most important things. And like,
dude, it's very big. I'm learning that like no matter how I've tried dropping on Wednesdays, I've tried dropping on other days. Like no matter what, Fridays do the best on Spotify, because it hits like hitting release radar, and like no matter what, definitely pitch your song to playlist, even though 99% of the time Spotify won't answer you.
Yeah, and it's like to do that, you got to upload at least a couple weeks in advance, and that's like
for sure.
You can't do the whole like I want to drop this Friday. Like let's just send it 5 days in advance.
Just don't expect it to do good unless you're a huge artist and it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like if you're an up and coming artist, that stuff is so important.
Speaking of. Sorry, if you guys hear banging, by the way, there's like some construction going on outside.
They have someone in the closet right now.
But yeah, wait. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, going back to what you were saying about how like we're in a culture right now where a lot of people just like singles and they always want new stuff. I remember probably like almost 3 years ago, maybe, I listened to this interview with Hobson, which say what you want about Hobson. Like I get that like there's some criticism towards him or whatever, but he had, even back then he was saying like, he's almost said, he's like, I'm just going to give up on albums because I'll spend like a year making this amazing project with like a really deep story, and people just like don't even really appreciate it.
They care for a week.
Yeah, they care for a week, or they won't even like listen. Like he said, a lot of people will listen through the first like 5 songs, then they'll get busy, and then they never listen to like the rest of it.
Yeah, it shows like every time, dude. It's so hard because you put so much. People don't understand like the mental toll it takes to make an album, like a real album that people like you know what I mean? Like not like 20 singles thrown together that are just like the same song, like a complete album. It's so draining. Like you obsess, you spend all this time, and then you look and it's like, the first 4 songs get a lot of plays and it just drops up. Like no one cares. And then it's hard. And I think I'm still happy I did it because I'm proud of like some of the stuff I did. And I know that no matter what, great music will live on, but it's just, you can't keep burning yourself out. You know what I mean? It gets to a certain point where you're like, you have to do its best. You have to do its best. Yeah. And eventually you have that catalog that people will go back and listen to after.
Yeah. You did 2 full-length projects last year, right? The collab one and then your own, or was it 3?
I did 4 last year.
4, okay.
I did Things Change, Glass Half Full, Written in Stone, and then Fallen.
Okay. Yeah.
That's insane.
That's a lot of work. That's dope.
This year's about to be the same thing, except like they're just way better.
Just broken up different. Yeah.
Well, basically what I'm doing is like I have the project that comes in May that's like my that's my baby right there. That's the
Yeah.
one that I spent so much time on, and I'll always promote that a ton. And the rest are just like projects that are still super fire, but more so like kind of like mixtapes or like 8-song EP, like an EP type thing.
Yeah. That's dope.
But
Now, something I wanted to ask you about was obviously, like you mentioned, your buddies with Justin now, and you also like, I don't know, I wanted to ask about how does traveling and like meeting these people that you've met through music, like in person, how does having that like personal relationship with them like improve your music? Because like I noticed you went and you
went down
stayed
to
with
Dallas,
Adrian for a
yeah.
bit, and like
yeah,
what's that like,
Yeah,
just
man.
meeting these guys in person? Like how does that change things?
dude, it's insane because like 3 years ago, I was going to shows when I was just like a super, like a fan. I barely even made music now. Now I'm like working with people like that I looked up to for a long time and meeting people. And it's crazy and it's super inspiring. And it's a reason to keep going. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, like I was pissed about last year. I was like, how am I not where I want to be? But I'm sitting in the car right now with Futuristic and he's saying that I'm fire. I'm like, dude, that like I literally bought his book 3 years ago. I'm like, that's crazy to me. I'm like, come on, like you're one song away, keep going. You know what I mean? And last year we were all stuck inside the house. I mean, we still are, you know what I mean? Everyone's in quarantine, whether you go out more or not. And traveling, I'm finally starting to like travel off of music and meet people that I want to work with. And it's helped me a lot. It's inspired me again. It's gave me like the flame, like it's just back. My passion's 100% back. I'm just ready, dude, at all times. Like, and just seeing the world and living. It's so important as an artist to not just stay. As much as I love staying inside the studio all day and recording all night, like you have to live.
Yeah.
Like life is my biggest inspiration. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just going out there, even if I didn't even make songs with Adrian, just going out there talking about music, everything he's been through, everything I've been through, like people need that. You know what I mean? It's important.
No, that's super cool. I remember we interviewed this producer named Cade, and he was saying, he's like, you know, if he's not inspired, like he realized like, yo, it's because I've been in my house for like
isolating
5
myself.
days.
Yeah.
Like go do something else, and then maybe you'll be inspired again.
Yeah.
Especially like during album mode, it's just like phone off, isolation, boom, right? Like that's how it goes, man. It's hard. Like as an artist, like it's hard not to isolate yourself and you don't mean it like that, but you have to just keep living. You have to live, man.
Yeah. Was it ever, you know, weird at all when, you know, like you said, you were fans of these guys for like years, and then eventually meeting them and then working with them? I always wonder, was that transition like, did it ever feel weird? Like, did you ever? I'm sure you didn't want to seem like a fanboy. Like when you first met them, where you're like, yo, like I'm cool. Like I'm not.
I was super just like, you know what I mean? It's just a level of respect, dude. Like it made it easier for me because they had hit me up beforehand and were like, dude, like your music's fire. We really like you. You know what I mean? So it made it a lot easier for me. It would have been different if they didn't know like who I was and I was just meeting them because they've heard of me. You know what I mean? They were like, oh, this song's fire by you. You know what I mean? So it's like, damn, like, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I put like, you guys make fire music, and what makes it better that they're great people. Like, no matter how great of an artist you are, I'm not going to work with someone who I know is an ass or like not a genuine person. And I've been lucky to meet a lot of incredible people, a lot of shitty people, but a lot of incredible people that are going to be my friends for a long time, for sure.
That's dope. And last summer you went out to do the cookout cypher, right? With Crypt.
Dude, that was probably one of the best weekends of my life. 100%, man. I'm going again this year.
Oh, let's go. What was that like experience like, just being around so many artists?
I didn't know what to expect because like the YouTube community last year, in terms of like all the people, like you had like there was beef. Everyone had beef with each other, it seemed like. And I didn't feel like, I never had that label as a YouTube artist. So I didn't know if I was going to belong there. I was like, I don't know a lot of these people. I've talked to Crip. He's a super nice guy. I've talked to a few of my buddies that I drove up there with. And dude, to be honest, like everyone got along. It was like 40 artists in the same room, just creating, laughing, getting drunk, talking about everything. Like it was insane. The vibes were absolutely insane. And we didn't even know, me and my buddy Postcard in Gatsby, we walked in the door and we weren't even expecting like to be able to make music. And he's like, take out your phone. You have a half an hour. We're going to the studio and recording the cypher. Like we all made that cypher in legit 30 minutes. Like my buddy had one of the best verses and he wrote that on the car ride to the studio.
Oh my gosh.
Just picture having like, there was like, I don't know, 20 people on the cypher and we all had to go in the same studio and you had to get your verse done, do your ad libs, do everything. And then the next person goes in. So we were at the studio waiting outside like for like 7 hours and then like the last people finished in the dark to get their verse done. Then we had to go run, shoot the video. It was insane. It was just
Oh
like
my
boom, boom,
gosh.
boom.
Wait,
People didn't.
sorry. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying?
No, it's all good, man. It's just people didn't. It came out so good. People didn't realize how stressful it was and how like last second everything was. I'm like, how did this come together?
Yeah. I feel like that happens a lot though. Like a lot of times the stuff where you're just like scrambling and like you don't even know what you're doing. Sometimes those turn out just like insane.
Totally. Yeah.
100%, man.
What wait, so you said you didn't when you were going to it, you weren't even expecting to make music. What was like the backstory? Were you going just to like chill or to like
We knew that we were going to hang out and that we were doing a live stream concert.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what we knew. And the problem was though, like I guess he told people the night before, but I showed up the second night with my buddies. Like I showed up like 6 hours later than everyone else. Everyone got there at like 3:00 in the morning. They were all up writing and like freestyling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got there late, like we were in traffic, and he's just like, dude, we're going to the studio right now. Get your verse done right now. We're doing a cypher. And I was like, oh my God.
What was it like doing a cypher with just like, because I saw the video and like what's just the vibe like when you have that many different guys all there who are all like doing what you do?
It's insane because the rest of the YouTube ciphers that he did, it was never in person, but doing like an actual cipher, we did it in an abandoned Dollar Tree in the middle of Kentucky with like nothing was inside the store, no lights, just like the window cracked. Like it felt like hip hop, like at its core. That's really what it was, what it comes down to. It was like, I was like, damn, man, like this is life right now. This is crazy.
Yeah. Who were you close with originally? Like, do you know Crypt? I mean, did you go because of Crypt? Like, were you homies with him? Did he invite you or did someone else invite you?
I'm friends with him. You know what I mean? Like I've talked to him on the phone. Like we texted, we're going to do a song. It was kind of like that. It was, but more so I was close with his mom.
Oh,
like Crypt kind of has like, he knows so many people and there's a million people always asking to be on the ciphers. You know what I mean? And it's hard to keep track of every single artist.
Yeah.
But like his mom was in a couple of my group chats and she was like, yo, like, we see what you're doing. Like you're insane. Like we're going to get you on something. Like I promise. And all my friends are really close with Crypt.
Yeah.
So it kind of worked out like that. Like my buddy Postcard, who was PFB, is like one of Crypt's like really good friends, and Blitz is friends with them, and it all just we were all just mutually friends, and we all clicked. Like when we met each other, it was awesome.
That's cool.
Crypt has like a super unique kind of like path because he has his like obviously his own original music, but then on top of that, he can like build everything through his YouTube channel where he like reacts.
Yeah,
that's I don't know. I think it's a super cool like business model that
you know what's crazy about him that I didn't even know, because I knew he owned his own business that just shut down like during COVID, but he said he's gonna open up again. He had an escape room, like a crazy like big escape room.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I love escape rooms. We just shot a music video, me and my buddy, in an escape room the other day.
Oh dang!
Like I was like, damn, I didn't know he owned one. That's crazy.
Did you like rent one out, or you literally just paid to go to an escape room and just brought a camera in and like?
We literally walked in and I was like, can we shoot a video in here? Is that okay? And it was from my buddy's album, my buddy Dwayne and my buddy Gatsby, and they were like, yeah, we don't care. Just be out in an hour. It's all good.
That's awesome.
So they got a fire ass video.
Yeah. No, I saw you and then just like 2 weeks, maybe less than 2 weeks, you just had another music video come out, right? With the band?
Highest Cloud.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, man, that was awesome, dude. Yeah, I'm dropping another video next week.
Okay. What was it like working with was that your first time having like a band in a music video?
Yeah, but they're my hometown buddies, so I've been friends with them forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We got like we got a bunch of songs on my next album. Basically, they were like, dude, like you can remix any song we make. And I was like, okay, let's go.
That's dope.
So they make original songs, then you were just like, you can basically remix like a hip hop version of their songs? Is that what you're saying?
That was not basically. I just added verses on that and sang on it. Like that was the same song.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
okay.
That's dope. Yeah, because I was gonna ask. Like, I think it's dope when like Kendrick collabed with Imagine Dragons, and like when a rapper or a hip hop artist collabs with a band. It's like I wonder what the workflow is like because it's so different.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude. It gives you new inspiration, something else that like it just brings out a different side of you. To be honest.
Yeah. What So you were saying earlier how like, you know, you've been experimenting with like a bunch of different types of music. What for you is like, what's your ultimate dream? That's like just such a fun question to ask. Like I like to ask everyone that, like, what in 5 or 10 years from now, what do you want to be doing? And like, what's the long-term goal for you?
Man, I'm always going to be making a shit ton of music. That's just what I love to do. But realistically, you're probably gonna see me rap less and less. Like I love rapping, but like my singing, I love singing so much more. Like I love melody, like melodic music and like punk rock and all that stuff. Like I'll always try to do it all, but definitely you're gonna see me like that like 75-year-old dude like dropping acoustic albums. Like
That's awesome, man.
That my goal is just to live off my passion, be able to support my family, make like a positive impact on the world, and just do my own thing. I'm kind of like a closed off dude. I just have my core friends and I do my own thing, just make a lot of music. I don't have any time for like drama or any of that.
Yeah.
You know?
That's dope.
There's like one thing I noticed, it's so weird to me, is I feel like in the indie hip hop scene, there seems to be like a weird amount of like drama, and it's I don't know, like I don't know a lot of these guys. I don't know hardly any of them personally, only the people that we've actually interviewed.
We don't have to say names. Everyone
we're
knows
not naming names.
No,
yeah.
like I'm not saying anyone in particular. I'm just saying like it seems weird to me that because it feels like it would be a community where you would want everyone to be supporting each other and like helping each other grow, which obviously there's a lot of that.
There is a lot of that, but yeah.
I think it comes down to it started off like that, and then obviously like people gave the negative perception of labels, and more people are starting to become independent artists, and now it's more so becoming like, oh, I'm bigger than you. I'm independent, but I'm bigger than. It became a flex. Like it used to be being independent, like back in the day, it's like, oh, you're not signed to a label, but now it's like, oh yeah, I'm independent. I do it all myself. I'm better than you. That's like the vibe some people give. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want to work with you. I don't know. It's weird. I know what you're saying completely. It's just it's strange to me. Like I feel like especially it's so important that all of us stick together. When that payola stuff was happening and Spotify was supposed to raise our pay this year and shut it down, like that was the first time I saw like everyone come together and really start like be like, damn, this needs to change. Like all independent artists, like this is what we do for our living. Like this is our revenue. This is how we make music. And it seemed like a lot of people came together. But besides that, in terms of other stuff, it's weird, man. It's all needless drama. You know what I mean? Like none of it needs to happen.
Yeah. And shout out to all the people we've had on the podcast because they've all been super genuine and like no drama.
Yeah, man.
There.
I've watched like all of like I watched the Luke one, I watched the Adrian one, like two of the realest people in the industry for sure.
Yeah. Who's like an artist that you kind of, when you look at like their path or the type of music they've been putting out, who's someone that you really look up to? Because you said you know you might transition a bit away from just like straight rapping. What artist do you just really admire for like?
I mean, no matter how many people hate on him, like Russ is one of the best artists in the world, and obviously me and him have a similar like approach to music. Like we drop a lot. He dropped weekly. That's how he got big, and he also is like he's just very inspiring to me. And what he said, he might not say it the right way, but he says what needs to be said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of like own your masters, like people just hate on him for no reason. I feel like because the way he came up, but like he's not like I don't know, man. You know what I mean?
I agree.
No, his book. We got his book right there.
He's super inspiring, and I read like I started to read a decent amount of it. And Adrian like put me on to another book that like takes it to a different level. But that's so real. Like manifestation, what you put into the universe really comes back to you. You know what I mean? Like that's real, man. I learned that I finally started having good things happen to me when I really started to be about it. Like this is going to happen. This is how I'm going to do this. It was never like, oh, maybe. No, like this is going to happen. I don't know if it's today or tomorrow, but boom, boom, like on to the next thing. Let's go. I envision myself every day in front of 20,000 fans. Every single day when I wake up, I'm like, I'm singing my song that comes out on Friday. I'm like, I can't wait to perform this for 20,000 people. I know it's going to happen. And you have to have that mindset.
Totally. And I know you and Kyle talked about this the other day about like, it can come off like the wrong way when someone's like, yo, I just got to like manifest what I'm doing. But like, you really have to like have that mindset for things to work in an industry like this.
100%. And I think the problem is people can say that, but if you don't live it and you wonder why like things don't happen, you know what I mean? You can't be like, I'm going to manifest this. Oh, damn it. And it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Like you have to really be about like, you have to everything you do, everything you say has to be, this is going to happen. Like it's never a maybe. Like there's no doubts in your mind. It can't be. Because if you don't believe in yourself in this industry, goodbye. Like you're swimming with the sharks right now, and you got to survive. And you have to have your back because most of the time people aren't going to have yours.
Yeah, and I think like I agree with you, and I think most artists or a lot of artists who really want to succeed like have that mindset of like there's no plan B, like it's just plan A. But I think the issue is like some people, this manifesting term has been thrown around so much that a lot of people think that it's like, oh yeah, you just say what you want and then the
Yeah.
universe is just going to give it to
I'm
you.
I'm just not gonna work, but if I say manifest in like 7 songs, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, like what that means to me is like, I'm going to commit like my whole life to my goal essentially. And like, I like to blindly believe that like, if you commit like all day, every day to what you want to do, like in
Yeah.
my head, it only makes sense that eventually something good will happen.
I'm throwing stuff at a wall right now, and it keeps slowly, like one brick at a time, and eventually I'm gonna run through or it's gonna break. That's really what it comes down to. There's no possible way. If you give something 150% every, like, no matter, like, all the time, and you work, even if it takes a decade, like Eminem didn't get big until he was like 29. Like, you know what I mean? People give up too fast, and a lot of people say they give it their all, but they don't, because it's like, dude, you dropped 5 songs last year. You can't be giving this your all if you dropped 5 songs last year. You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
No excuses.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's one of the most infuriating things is when someone like is talented and really like they have a talent and they have a goal, but like they think that they're working really hard. And I'm like, bro,
Trust
like
me, man.
you worked hard for like a week, like, but that's about it. And it's just like, it's frustrating, especially when they're really talented, because you know that like, you're more talented than me, you know?
Trust me, I relate to that more than you know, like for real. Like it drives me nuts when I see that. And it's like people get mad when other people get signed or something happens to them. I'm like, this could have been you. You know what I mean? This could have been you.
Yeah.
One thing I've noticed, and we haven't met like that many people, but just from the successful people we've met through doing this, like everyone has just such a, like, you can't be a pessimist. Like you have to have such a positive mindset on like everything. Cause as an artist, you're just going to be taking like L's. And like you said, like you have to take any W you can, any win you can, and really like to the best ability.
Stack up the small W's and eventually add up. And I've always had the mindset, like, I mean, I've struggled with like depression. I've struggled with anxiety and all that stuff. And I still struggle with that every day, but I don't make excuses. No matter how bad I feel in that moment, I'm never going to let it stop me from my dreams or like what I'm working on at that moment. And that's the mindset I've had a lot of people like use. Like depression's like, I know I deal with it every day, but it's never an excuse to not get stuff done or be a good person, or, you know what I mean? Like just keep going. Like you have to keep going. If you care about it enough, you will keep going.
Yeah. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. I was having a conversation with one of my buddies that used to struggle with anxiety and depression. And he was saying how like, I don't even know if this is like a controversial take. I don't think this is, but he was basically saying like, it seems like a lot of people, because of social media, a lot of people like kind of identify as their anxiety, or like this depression and anxiety like becomes everything that they are. And at least for me, in my experience with depression, it's important for me at least to realize like I may be depressed, but it's like, it's not who I am. And I feel like sometimes it gets like,
it can control you if you like, that becomes your identity.
Yeah. And it becomes like romanticized in some weird way where people are like, you know, if there's
In
music
pop culture,
about depression, and it becomes this whole thing where it's like, if for years I've had depression or had anxiety, and if you eventually kind of like overcome it, I feel like for some people,
where your fans gonna, I mean, a lot of artists, I feel like a lot of artists get scared about it because that you get into that. You start off, a lot of your music's like that, and you're like, what's gonna happen if I don't make music about this? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if you get like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's all good. Keep going.
But like, if you build this foundation of like, your music was built on you being depressed. Like there's music out there that's literally like, there's huge playlists of like depressing music.
I know.
And like, it's dope. I love depressing music. It's one of my favorites, but it's like,
me too.
I just
wonder,
it's like,
I don't always want to feel like that. You know? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think that's cool that like you and a lot of the people we talk to have had like, they seem to be really optimistic and like positive in terms of like their music and their future, which I think is like really important, you know?
Yeah. Like I said, I take whatever I'm feeling in that moment. I'm like, you're not always going to be happy. You're not always going to be sad. So if you're always making sad music, that means you have to make a difference. You have to do something different in your life. You know what I mean? Because I have a lot of like super inspirational songs in this album and a lot of sad songs. Because like everyone's going through something. You know what I mean? You don't know what anyone's going through. But I just feel like there's a difference between actually being depressed and then never making a change. You know what I mean? You have, like, at the end of the day, you have to get yourself back. You have to get yourself back up. You know what I mean? I wake up every day and most of the days I don't even know where I am. Like seriously, like Like on a serious note, like I always feel out of my own body. And I talked to like Adrian and a bunch of artists about it. And I was like, dude, I feel like shit every single day that I wake up. But at the same time, it's my superpower. Like I'm like, it's my superpower too, because I don't think I'd be able to write as far as music and get in my zone because I have super bad ADD. And I'm sure you can tell just talking to me right now. I'm like all over the place. But music is the only time I can finally focus and like block everything out. And I'm just like, holy crap, how did I just get that song done right now? Because I don't even remember writing it. Like,
yeah,
it's the only time that I can fully focus and lock in on something.
That's what I love about music is it's like, it gives people an opportunity to like direct something that could be looked down upon about them for good, you know?
Yeah, man. And I think even when I didn't know that I was going to be an artist, I knew deep down, like I would be in the realm of music, the field of music somehow, because every single Friday I would stay up, listen to all of like every Friday album. Like anytime a big artist dropped, like Cole, I'd like the whole night I'd be listening to it, studying the whole entire album, every lyric, every rhyme scheme without even realizing. I'm like, damn, like this is what I love. So, I mean, I knew I loved it, but I never knew like it would help me as I got older and became like a writer myself. It's like a whole new world. You're in a completely different, it takes you away from whatever's going on in the world. You're completely new dimension. Like music can do that, take you away from anything.
Yeah. And relating to that, I was just the other day, I was talking to someone about, a lot of the things about, at least for me, a lot of the things that I dislike about myself or that like frustrate me about like the way that I think or the way I view the world are also the same things that like make me like good at what I do and like make me who I am. So like you said, like your ADD, for example, or whatever you were just saying, like that's probably a large part of like what makes you.
It's a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
I literally did a song like 2 days ago, and basically like every other line was like, it was like, other times I get depressed. Other times I love myself. Ego big as Kanye West. Not a mountain I can't climb. A lot of things I say in jest. No, I'm not a Superman. Not an S across. It's like you love, you hate, you love it. Like it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's a balance. Life is all about balance.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man.
Bars.
Wait, I have to ask, what are your tattoos on your hand? They're dope.
Oh, thanks, man. I gotta get this one redone because the hand tattoo always needs to get redone. But I have a rose and I have Beautiful Madness because I was actually working on an album called Beautiful Madness. And I kind of think this album kind of just turned a different name into that. But it really just stands for the world. Like the world is literally beautiful madness. It's craziness. It's you experience love, you experience pain, you experience every single emotion. And at the end of the day, like even if I'm sad, how I'm feeling, it's beautiful. Your life is beautiful.
Yeah.
Like take advantage of it while you're here. Because you never know when you're going to be gone. You know what I mean? That's why one of the reasons why I dropped so much too is because I could be gone tomorrow. So I want to work as hard as I can while I'm here.
Yeah, 100%. Have you performed live or because I know that?
Yeah, I did a few shows, but I was supposed to go on tour with Justin and Adrian. Like was on Ticketmaster and everything. We sold out like the Boston show and then Corona happened.
Yeah,
like a week before.
That blows, man. Because like obviously you grew a lot during COVID. So I was curious, like, if you'd even done live shows before that.
Yeah, only a few, but I'm definitely going to tour as soon as we can. Like I was like talking to a booking person, like even during this, like when a show is going to open up. So hopefully I want to do a show with like me, Justin, like Abstract, then like Adrian, like some crazy tour.
Yeah.
So sick.
I don't know where you would plan on touring, but like, we'll definitely try to make it out wherever it is.
Yeah, thanks, man. Where are you guys living right now?
We're
up in Seattle. Yeah.
But anywhere on the West Coast, we'll make it out there.
Yeah, last
Let's
year,
go.
2019, I guess. I went down to Phoenix. My brother lives down there to see Justin and Adrian, and they were super dope.
Oh hell yeah,
yeah,
yeah, man. I'm crazy energy, so I need to just get on stage so bad.
Yeah, man.
It's like. Sports used to be that for me, but now it's just like music. So I'm like, I need to perform so bad.
Yeah. Have you, I've seen recently, like a lot of guys, who at least started in this same community of like indie hip hop, like a lot of artists that when I found Justin Stone, I found other similar artists. And a lot of those guys now are getting songs on like NBA commercials and like NFL, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what those are called, but like,
yeah, it's because they're. I'm pretty sure it's just because they're a part of like that label that label.
Yeah.
So
but it's not like a label. I don't know. I couldn't tell you the details, but it definitely has to like. it definitely has to do with the sound, whatever it's called. I forget.
That's what Abstract's on, right?
Or
Abstract and Dylan Reese.
Yeah.
They're all on it. All three of them, they're all on that.
Okay.
Yeah. But like, is that something that you'd ever like to do? Because like, if you're a huge fan of like what do you play growing up? Basketball, you said?
Basketball, tennis, soccer.
That'd be so sick if like you just turn on an NBA game and like your song's on there.
Yeah, it would really just come down to details. Like, if you're taking 20% of my music, I can't speak for them. You know what I mean? Because I don't know the deal. But like, I'm not signing to a record label unless you're giving me 10 million. Yeah. Because that's what I think I'm gonna make in like 5 years. That's the goal. Like, you know what I mean? To be a competitor. I mean, it's not about the music. It's not about the music. It's not about the money for me.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you want to be able to support yourself and live off your passions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's a difference between like, it doesn't have to be about the money, but at the same time, you don't want people to take advantage of you. And like,
100%. And it's like, like I said, like the other day when people ask me like, oh, why you stop doing free features and stuff? I'm like, unless you're my friend. I'm like, dude, I drop a song every single week. Do you know how much that costs? Like for mixing and mastering, I'm dropping 100 songs a year and I can't keep up with my own stuff. I'm like, I can't, like, time is very valuable as an artist. And that's something I learned. Like, you have to, it comes with self-belief too. Like, you know your worth. It's a difference between being like an ass and like, this is my job. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't be like, hey dude, come cut my grass for free. Like, it comes down to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's interesting too. Cause I don't know if you know who Edgar Estevez is, but he's the guy. I
don't think so.
He directs a lot of Russ's videos. He's like a big music video director.
Oh, he's got fire videos. So.
Yeah. He had a post on Instagram the other day, which like a lot of people were kind of debating in the comments and stuff. But his post was about how like, oh, if you want to be a music video director, you got to do a lot of like shoots for free, and you got to find an artist that you believe in and do stuff for free. And then when they grow, you grow with them. But then I don't know. I didn't really know if I agree with it because
I do agree with it though. Like, it depends. See, the problem is, dude, every situation is different. Like, is different. You know what I mean? Because like, even though I say I'm not doing free features, like if a person hit me up and they were like, even if they had 10 followers, but they were insane artists, and I was like, dude, like we can make great music. Like, let's go. Like, if you find someone that if I'm in his position and I found an artist and I'm like, holy crap, like I've really grown a relationship with this artist. I see like endless potential, and I know he doesn't have it right now, but like it's going to happen if we put in this work together now. That's different. You know what I mean? So every situation is different, but if the foundation and the friendship's there too, and you have like a goal that you guys are both set on, then like I agree with him, but not just like some random, you know what I mean? Yeah. It has to be, obviously if he's doing it for free, he really believes in the person.
Exactly.
And you have to like earn your stripes. Like, I'm sure before when you were first starting out, you would have been more inclined to do a feature for free because you haven't proved yourself.
I would have never asked anyone, but it's like now, like,
There's a lot of stuff that you have to do if you're trying to make it as an artist where you're literally losing money or not making money, but it's all with the long-term goal that like it's going to pay off. You know?
I was telling my girlfriend the other day, like I saw like a meme on Twitter that Echo posted. It's like dating an artist like 4 years. It's like, I'm going to make it, like, give me 4 years. Like, I'm sorry I'm broke right now. It's going to happen. And then like it finally happens. But I mean, like, even look at M, like if Dre didn't believe in him, like he wouldn't be who he is. You know what I mean? So sometimes it really does take that person to give you the chance. But the difference is between a person that's like really meant for it. It's not like, are you going to take advantage of it? Like, are you going to make the most of it? Cause like I said to myself, I'm like if Russ did a song with me tomorrow and I blew up, I know I'd be fine after it because I'm going to keep making great music. You know what I mean? I'm confident that like every single time I can like this, I'm meant for this. You know what I mean? You have to have that mentality or you're going to fade away.
Yeah, 100%.
I think the Edgar situation would probably relate more to like not an artist, maybe more like an engineer or something where because as a video director, you're like relying on an artist to be in the video and kind of be the target of it. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, for sure.
I think that would be more like being an engineer. Like you probably want to do a couple free mixes so people know you can mix, and then you start.
Yeah, and like producers too. Like I've had like my buddy like Colin. Like we were Shorty Beats. He's produced most of my albums. Like we've been best friends for like we were best friends for a long time before we made music, and we both started doing this for fun. So it was kind of, we've always had like that. Like when I finally get to the point where I can give you a lot of money, like let's get it. Like that's like we've been making music on a $5 microphone with GarageBand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So outside of music, like what are the things you do to kind of like stay sane? What are your hobbies and like interests?
Yeah, I got you, bro. Give me
Oh,
one
yeah,
sec.
yeah.
I got you.
What is he grabbing? He's gonna grab something, I think.
What's about to happen?
Why you guys smiling right now? Like you don't know what's
What
gonna
did it-
happen.
what is
We're a little
this?
confused.
Oh,
snap.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so sick.
If I can't pay my rent next month, you know why? 'Cause I buy
That's dope.
Is that new or
Nah,
is that
like,
is that a classic one?
That's new. Well, like it's like the 2005 version
Oh,
or
okay.
something. But
Okay,
like
yeah.
I got it like recently.
That's
Nice.
dope.
Me and my buddy have like at least like $50,000 worth of Star Wars shit. Dude. It's insane.
That's it.
Star Wars and sports.
Okay.
My whole entire life has been involved around the same three things: Star Wars, sports. Not counting like friends and family.
Right,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like Star Wars, sports, and music. I'm the type of dude. I hate everything. Like I don't know how my girlfriend's with me. My mom said I'd probably never get a girlfriend because I hate everything. Don't ask me to go to an amusement park. Don't ask me to do this. Don't ask me to do that.
Yeah.
I hate everything except music, sports, and Star Wars and like movies and stuff like that. I've always been like that. Like it's just how I am, man.
No, I get it.
Sports, like
It's like would you say you have an addictive personality?
100%. Like the reason why I work so hard in music is before that, like basketball, I would train every second of every day. Like I'd wake up at 6 o'clock, put weights on my back, go to the beach, run up, down the hills, like everything. Like, and I feel like for me, it's also, I'm small. Like I'm only like 5'4", 5'5". So I always had a chip on my shoulder in sports to be the best. And I had to work harder. I felt like in basketball, like being small, or soccer,
Yeah.
like getting to be captain and stuff like that. So I've tried to have that. I've had that like work mentality my whole life, and I just implemented it in music.
Yeah. Well, and in Star Wars.
Yeah, like in everything. That's how I am. Like I'm the same with my friends too. Like if I love you, I'll do anything for you. You know what I mean? Like I don't know,
Yeah. What do you think of The Mandalorian? Do you love it?
dude.
Oh,
My
shoot.
dog.
Do you have a tattoo?
Bro, let's go.
Do I have a fucking tattoo, guy? You bear shit in the woods. Can you?
Oh.
Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
It's the Mandalorian symbol
Yeah.
that says this is the way.
That's so dope.
That's so sick, dude.
I don't know, like the differences between me and other Star Wars fans. So like I actually think I believe that I'm gonna be a Jedi. Like I'm gonna manifest that. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I will have the Force by 2040.
You will have the actual force, not just like be in a movie. You're
Yeah,
talking
like
real life.
I'm gonna force choke you.
That's dope.
Nah, for real.
Do you
Though.
keep up with like outside of Star Wars? Do you like watch Star Wars Theory? Do you read
Dude,
comics?
everything. Me and my buddy have been writing a Star Wars short film for like
Yo.
a while now, and we're gonna we're gonna go crazy. Like it's gonna be like a real ass film.
That's
Damn.
dope.
I was gonna shoot it like when I came home for a couple weeks recently, but I was like, nah, we can't force it. Like we have to wait for I'm home for a month, and it has to be like real
Yeah,
deal. If
yeah.
I'm gonna do it, because especially my fans all know that like if you know me, you know I love Star
Yeah.
Wars. So.
And then you can make the soundtrack for it too.
Oh,
I did. Yeah, man. I made an insane Star Wars song if you've never heard of it. Like I
Oh, really?
literally the whole
I
entire
haven't heard it.
every line. Yeah,
What's
I
it
dropped
called?
it the same day The Force Awakens came out. The Rise of EK.
Okay.
And we shot it in a movie theater the same day the movie came out.
Damn,
Dang.
that's
And
so
I'm wearing
sick.
like a full ass like robe and shit, and every single line is a reference. But I made it into like a hard like rap song, and we sampled The Mandalorian.
That's awesome, dude. That reminds me of like, who was it? I'm thinking maybe it was J-Zack who like years ago he has like, I don't know who it was.
is
but
it Echo?
Well, I don't know. Someone had like a freestyle
Yeah,
on
but
YouTube.
Echo used the same beat. I dropped that like 5 months before Echo.
Oh.
He sampled the same beat as me. I
Snap.
never said anything. I don't care. It's all up to him. But like everyone knows
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be that dude. But like I was like, man, I dropped it the same day as the movie. How did this not go crazy?
That's
But, like,
funny.
He's fine.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Screw it.
What was I gonna say? Last Star Wars question: prequels or sequels?
Man, I hated the last movies. To be
Yeah,
honest
yeah,
with you.
same.
Yeah.
They're actually, I think they're gonna be wiped out of existence. I've been reading all like the stuff, and basically what they're doing is like, not to get crazy into this, but like basically like the Rebels movies talks about like in Star Wars how there's multi-universes.
Yeah, yeah.
And the new guy Dave Filoni is basically saying like they might do like a scenario where it kind of never happened. It was like an alternate universe.
I've heard about that.
Because they want to like use like Luke and like expand on all that stuff. But yeah, it's crazy. But I think it's gonna be Fudge Bye gone.
I'm kind of for that, and not gonna lie.
Wait,
Me too, man.
But then won't that be kind of a cop out just to say like, oh, psych, it never existed? It's like,
I think it would be one of those things where like people like us would know that they don't actually exist in the same timeline, but it's like
It's like it happened just in a different timeline. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, man. People waited like 30 years to see Luke fight again, and we didn't even get to really see. Like that's why the Mandalorian, like everyone loves it so much because they're doing everything that the movies didn't do. Like it's Star Wars, it feels like it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't even watched The Mandalorian, but I've just heard people say that like even huge fans of Star Wars have said that they think it's the best property that's ever come out of Star Wars. Would you? How do you feel about that? Is it your favorite thing ever, or what's your favorite piece of Star Wars content of all time?
I mean, the originals are the best, but like I love like Revenge of the Sith. Like that's always like mine. That's like I love action. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm trying to see lightsaber battles like crazy, but like I wish George Lucas never sold it. But now he's like back on the set. Like he's that. I think that comes down to it too. He's like they didn't use any of his ideas. Like 7, 8, and 9 were supposed to be completely different. Like,
that would suck to sell your like. You know, that's like his
creation.
soul. Like that's his baby, and then he
and
lost
I thought he did it all for money, but like I watched the interview on him and he was like, what did he say? Basically, he said what it comes down to, like, even though they made a lot of money off the movies, he wanted to, like, Disney could put in billions and he wanted to put in billions and he did for a couple of them, but he was losing money. So he's like, I can't like not pay like all the people that I want like, to get it to where I want it to be. So he kind of sold it off because he knew Disney has the money to do whatever they want. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. That sounds kind of similar to the music industry. A lot of people, you know, you want to do some crazy stuff, then they're going to try and make you believe that you got to sign somewhere if you want to do some crazy
stuff.
It to
another
change
level,
your whole entire, and then people come back 6 months later with a completely different haircut, this and that, and everything else, and everything's different.
And then the fans are like, we want the old George Lucas.
Yeah. Oh man. See, everything comes back to the music industry, real life, everything.
Yeah. What's have you ever felt like you need like this is just like a very general question. I don't even know why I thought of this, but have you ever felt like you need some particular thing for like an image? Like have you ever felt like, oh, I need to do this or I need to like change this in order to like stand out? Or do you just feel like you're just yourself?
I've definitely I'd be lying if I said it's never crossed my mind, but I know I'm not going to. I don't like. I'm just me, man. Like I've always been like that. Like it is like take it or leave it, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like I could worry about my haircut. I could worry about all this stuff, but it's like, are you here for the music? Are you here for me? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
No, I agree. I don't know. I just feel like if I was an artist,
there'd be like not temptations, but like it crosses your mind. Like, I don't know, like, should I start working out? Is that going to improve my image? You know what I mean? Like random stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I used to be way more into that stuff, but now I'm so focused on music. I don't have time for like a lot of other stuff. I wish I did, but I don't know, man. It doesn't really.
Yeah. It just sucks because I've noticed on social media, like the posts where things are different than normal, like anything out of the ordinary. If you have a post where you're like, wearing some wild outfit or you're like doing some crazy shit, like that's obviously
they always do better.
They always do better, and so I feel like that makes people feel like they always have to one up something.
The difference is that like I'm super into fashion. I used to have like an insane shoe collection, like hundreds and hundreds of pairs of Jordans and everything, and it really comes down to I put all my money into music. So like you'll probably like once I'm making more money off music, you'll definitely see me with some crazy outfits. Like, you know what I mean? Not gonna be this man changed because he's wearing this. I'm like, no, like I just couldn't afford it. I genuinely like this stuff. I don't do it because it's like a brand name. I do it because this is fire. You know what I mean? So like that's one way I could see like an image changing, but not just in terms of like style and in certain like video, like production wise and stuff like that, but never in terms of like my core intentions and what my brand represents. You know what I mean? That will never change.
Yeah, we're not saying like dye your hair, like that kind of stuff. Just more like
I did dye my hair was blonde last year, but now it's not.
I'm not like 6'9". You know what I mean?
That's just corny. You know what I mean?
What happened? What is he doing now? What happened to him? Is he?
I don't know, he's probably snitching on someone somewhere.
Like I don't know. Also, I think Kodak's finally out of prison again. Or out of jail again.
Yeah,
he dropped another song.
Trump literally pardoned him and freaking Lil Wayne, and they dropped songs like a day later, like literally saying the funniest lines.
Yeah. Who's some of your favorite artists currently? Like who do you like to listen to when you're not making your own stuff?
My favorite artist is Nothing Nowhere.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys know who he is or
I
not. He's my
fucking
favorite
love
artist.
Nothing Nowhere.
He's my favorite artist.
So good.
Dude, that was my birthday present last year to see him on tour, like front row, and then freaking COVID, like everything, man. Like,
yeah,
That sucks.
yeah.
but that's the type of music that like you'll definitely hear like a couple songs inspired by him on the next album for sure. And I want to work with him so bad. And I love J-Zack too. I'm a huge
Yeah.
J-Zack fan.
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
I love Nothing. What genre is Nothing Nowhere? Like, what is that considered? I don't even know.
He is nothing nowhere. He's considered nothing nowhere.
But like,
It's like, dude, will they classify him like when they talk about like when Rolling Stone did a write up on his album, they call him emo rap or trap, but like that's not him. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He's kind of everything. He's punk rock mixed with. He's a twist of punk rock, trap,
yeah,
and
like everything.
Yeah.
He I found his I think it's called Ruiner is one of his like popular songs. But
Ruiner, that's his second album. Yeah.
But I found I don't know. I found one of his music videos randomly on my recommended on YouTube, and ever since then I've just been a huge fan of him.
Now that's something that really separates like him apart. He does like most of his own like editing and shoots a lot of his own stuff, but he lives out in nature, like has his own place in Vermont and doesn't really talk to many people. But like he's super like the way he like watch his videos are different than anyone else. The way he puts stuff, it's just like super random. Like he just makes it all fire. I don't even know. Just have like a pile of wood and like other stuff and sing. I don't even know, man.
Yeah.
He's just him. There's no way to explain it. Just go watch.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Does this upcoming album that comes out in May, does that one have any songs that are like similar
Inspired.
vibes to that style?
100%.
Let's go.
100%.
I'm so hyped.
I want to show you guys right now. What the hell?
Let's go.
But yeah, have you ever heard of I think his name is Breakins or like Break?
Oh, yeah. Breakins.
Breakins, I think. But I found
I
him.
don't think so. Maybe if I heard a song, but
I'll actually link it to you because I think you would, if you like Nothing Nowhere, I think you would really like this guy.
hell yeah.
He's insane. But anyways,
I love Oliver Francis too. He's fire.
but yeah, man. Anyways, we like to keep
But
these...
for the
Oh no, sorry, what were you saying?
I was gonna say like just for the most part though, like I'm into a lot more like melodic stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like our artists are very diverse.
You're into Black Bear, right?
I freaking love Black Bear. I
Yeah.
saw him live 3 times.
Because you did a cover of IDFC, right?
Yeah, man.
That's dope.
Yeah, dude.
That's one of my like
Dude,
favorite
you know what's
songs.
crazy? That's my biggest song on Apple Music. I don't even I
Really?
don't look at my Apple Music stats ever. And I never get a lot of plays on there. And I looked and it's at like 20,000 on there. And I was like, what the hell? Like,
That's
I was like,
sick.
okay, that's random.
Yeah, Black Bear was my like most listened to artist last year, and I started listening to him last year. I don't know why I was like sleeping
Yeah.
on him for years.
The Digital Drug Lord album is one of my favorite albums of all time.
So good.
Yeah. Well, how come you said you don't really check Apple Music? I've just noticed this trend that I feel like a lot of artists like,
It's just not as popular.
but like it's
But
still
they
pretty
pay us more though.
That's true. A lot more.
But like, how much more popular is Spotify? Just like way more popular? Because it just seems like no one really ever talks about Apple Music.
They're way more popular and like because of playlists and stuff. But let's be real, it really comes down to if Apple Music showed your monthly listeners to everyone, people would care about it more. I think let's be real. You know what I mean? It's like people, because it sucks, but people literally won't listen to you because they see you're smaller. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, I'm not listening to that person. He has 10,000 monthly listeners or something. It's like, okay,
Yeah, man. It's so dumb. Like,
And that's why there's people that buy, and it's like bots and stuff, and it sucks.
yeah. No,
Man, just look at it like this. You know how many people that we see, like even like artists in this whole entire indie scene that like if you have 700,000 monthly listeners and you can't get 3 retweets on Twitter, like we know you bought it. Like there's no like,
yeah.
or like you blew up from promoting sounds or something else. Like,
Right.
there's no, like,
It's not a fan base. It's just like something.
and it's fine. It's just like I've always had that mindset that you're just not like you're not if that's how you keep going up, like you're not gonna last. Like it's so important to have like a core like cult like fan base that you know is going to be there for you no matter what. And that's why I'm like, it sucks that it's taken this long and I'm still not in the position I want to be. I'm happy that I've gained a lot of success, like compared to last year and compared to previous years. But it's like you build a foundation with people and you know that they're always going to be there for you and they're going to ride for you no matter what.
Yeah, EK fam.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
It's so weird, like what you just said about how I think I talked about this on one of the earliest episodes we did. But if I, not for me, but I think a lot of people, if you see an artist and it has like 400 monthly listeners, a lot of people just assume that their music is bad because they're like, oh, if it was good, more people would listen. But it's like, then there's this cycle of not having a lot of listeners means it's harder to get listeners. So then you can't
Yeah,
grow.
man.
And it's like, it's this vicious cycle.
It's crazy. Like my buddy Christian, he's like on my last 3 albums. He's like the only person I really do features for or have like on my albums anymore, to be honest with you. And he has like 500 monthly listeners. And I'm like, you're one of the most talented people I know in the world. Like it's insane how good your music is, and people don't even know who you are. And it's crazy. I mean, I get so mad every day. I'm like, how do I only have this many? I'm like, it makes no sense when you have all these other people that are garbage and they have a million. So it's hard.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, dude. It's really hard to be an artist right now. It really is.
Yeah.
Especially with everything going on right now in the world.
Yeah.
Well, we're all really excited for your upcoming music. When does not like the main album, but the other project, what's it called? Like before
I literally just called it before the album.
When does that one come out?
I wanted to be direct with people because, people get confused. I'm like, listen, it's before the album.
Yeah.
So what's the date today? That comes out February 12th.
Okay.
Soon.
So I have one more single to put out next week. And then like the last couple will be on that. People will be excited because like the song Too Many came out in 2018 and that was one of my most popular songs. So I did a Too Many part 2. So I know like a lot of the 4 fan base would be like happy to hear that.
That's dope. Well, hey man, thanks so much for
thank you.
I hope that went okay. I know I'm always all over the place, but
no,
that was fun. That was really fun, dude. That was definitely like the most like the best talk I've had about music on a podcast for sure.
I'm glad to hear that, man. Yeah, it was super fun. And we just, I don't make music, but since Matt does, and I love the music industry. Like it's so fun just to talk to people like you who were in a position like we're at just like a little bit ago. It's fun to talk to people who have like, grown at least to some capacity and just see their journey.
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate you guys having me on, and I'm definitely down to do this again soon if you guys want or whatever.
Yeah, man. Where can the people listening, where can they follow you if they don't already follow you?
So all of my social medias, Instagram and Twitter and all that, it's at Elijah Kyle __, and then just on all platforms, Elijah Kyle.
Oh, sweet.
Perfect.
Well,
let's go.
Yeah. Thanks again, man. Matt, where can they follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at @TheMattMog.
You guys can follow me at Hey Narwhal on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. There's also a second podcast called Peak to Middle School, filmed in the same studio with me and my buddy Kyle. So if you guys you're here for the music show, if you want to check out the other one, it'd be greatly appreciated. But once again, thank you, Elijah. This was dope. And
thank you, man.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can do this again soon when you got maybe a year from now when there's a bunch of new music out.
And hopefully we're in a completely different place.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks again, and we'll talk to you later.
Peace.
All right, take care.